the human aspiration, and by now all of you know, sitting in this Savitri Bhavan, the very opening of Savitri itself, the symbol dawn. In the symbol dawn, we see an opening that is there on the cosmic level. Aurobindo starts off on a scale of the cosmos. It was the hour before the gods awakening. It was the hour before the gods were awake. But life divine is not symbolic. It is absolutely realistic. So he comes to grips with man straight away. He doesn't use symbolism of the cosmos and the beginning of the cosmos and how Usha comes in and how Savitri comes in. Here he straight away starts with man and his aspiration. And with this beginning, you'll see a very fine quotation given here, taken from Rig Veda by Kutsa Angirasa. She follows to the goal of those that are passing on beyond. She is the first in the eternal succession of the dawns that are coming. Usha widens, bringing out that which lives, awakening someone who was dead. What is her scope when she harmonizes with the dawns that shone out before and those that now must shine? She desires the ancient mornings and fulfills their light. Projecting forwards her illumination, she enters into communion with the rest that are to come. Well, you see, this quotation from Rig Veda is again very similar to what we see in Savitri actually, the coming of the dawn. Well, it's not that Aurobindo was really trying to imitate this or that, but obviously this invocation to the dawn, to dawn Usha, is I suppose an ancient practice. It is in the modern times that we have started invoking Lord Ganesha, but in those ancient times it was always invocation to Usha. So she here is Usha. So it says, Usha follows to the goal of those that are passing on beyond. She is the first in the eternal succession of the dawns that are coming. Now, the word Usha itself means etymologically coming into manifested being. Now, that's very significant. Usha means coming into manifested being. So every dawn brings in a kind of a new manifestation of the Supreme Being. It brings a new truth, and that, he says, is the first in the eternal succession of the dawn that are coming. Usha widens, bringing out that which lives. Well, I have a little note here which I took from the Vedic analysis. Usha symbolizes the constant opening out of the divine illuminations upon the human mentality. She is the continuous descent of divine felicity into the bowels of earth nature. Each dawn is a precursor of a fresh stretch of light. Thus a succession of dawns thread from where the previous one has left. The present dawn moves towards where those that have come before have gone. She is the last of those gone before and the first of all that are going to come. Well, that is a quotation, but you understand its meaning, that each dawn, while it brings a new truth to the world, it also carries on the old truths that are apparently dead by the night. They are not completely dead in that sense, they are not completely wiped off. They lie there submerged, that's what it says, awakening someone who was dead. So that means the old truths that are there hidden in the darkness, they are fulfilled. They are carried on to the next morning. The old is not completely wiped off. The old also gets its fulfillment in the new. And while each new morn, each new dawn brings in, adds one more dimension of a truth. So there is this eternal cycle. The old gets fulfilled. It's like a wave, you see, as the wave comes in, there's another wave that forms. So that kind of an eternal movement that takes place. So therefore it says, what is her scope when she harmonizes with the dawn that shone out before? And when she harmonizes with the dawn that shone out, and those that now must shine. So you see, there is this recurrence of the past, the present, and the future. So every morning is a symbol of the past and the future. She desires the ancient mornings and fulfills their light. Projecting forwards her illumination, she enters into communion with the rest that are to come. Well, if you see this second part, is exactly as we had discussed about the life divine. This line can precisely apply to the entire book. What is her scope when she harmonizes with the dawn that shone out before? That's the life divine. It brings in all the ancient truths that shone out before. And those that now must shine, the present life divine takes into account the present truths. And then she desires the ancient mornings and fulfills their light. So in a way, life divine fulfills the ancient truths. I mean, by how does it fulfill? By projecting forwards her illumination, she enters into communion with the rest that are to come. How does the fulfillment come in? It is, a fulfillment can come when there is a perfect harmony between the past, the present, and the future. So life divine is precisely that new dawn, that new ushas, which carries the ancient truths into the present, applies them to the present, and from the present it springs into a greater future. So that is a beautiful line that we could apply to the life divine. And next quotation from Rishi Vamadeva. Threefold are those supreme births of this divine force that is in the world. They are true, they are desirable. He moves there wide overt within the infinite and shines pure, luminous and fulfilling. That which is immortal in mortals and possessed of the truth is a God and established inwardly as an energy working out in our divine powers. Become high uplifted, O strength, pierce all veils, manifest in us the things of the Godhead. This is obviously, as you must have guessed, refers to Agni, the Vedic god Agni. So he says, the Vedic deity Agni is the first of the powers, the pristine and preeminent, that have issued from the secret Godhead. By conscious force of the Godhead, the worlds have been created and are governed from within by that hidden and inner control. Agni is the form, the fire, the forceful heat and flaming will of this divinity. This divine conscious force contains all other Godheads in itself, as the nave of a wheel contains its spokes. He is no random fire. He is a flame of force instinct with the light of divine knowledge. In the physical world, he is the general devourer and enjoyer. At the same time, it purifies. He is the heat of life and creates the sap, the rasa in things, the essence of their delight. He is equally the will in prana, the dynamic life energy, and it performs the same functions. Our passions and obscure emotions are the smoke of Agni's burning. He is the will in our nervous being and purifies it by action. He is also the will in the mind and clarifies it by aspiration. Now this is, I read out this just to explain the single word threefold. What are the threefold aspects of this supreme divine force in the world? Because in Aurobindonian terms we can say the divine descended, there was an involution and all that is, evolution, etc. But the Vedic rishis, they termed it as that when the Supreme Brahman, he brought forth, or when he created this world, he says, the first Godhead that came forth was Agni. And Agni has these triple qualities, or the three personalities. That's the threefold. What is it? On the physical world, physical level, we see Agni is the normal fire which burns, which devours, which destroys. And on the emotional life plane, it says it is the life energy. All that we are, acting, all the energy is what we call pranic shakti or pranic energy, is another form of life. So on the material level, life, Agni is there as just fire. On the emotional level, he is there as pranic energy or life energy. And our passions and obscure emotions are the smoke of Agni's burning. And on the mental level, Agni is there as willpower. So this was the psychological analysis given in the Vedas about human being. And ultimately, it's not described here, Agni is also that human aspiration. So what the title tells us here, the human aspiration, that's why Sri Aurobindo quotes Agni, because essentially it is Agni which is transformed into aspiration at a deeper level. So this is the fourfold Agni, if I can say. The material form, the pranic form, the mental form, and the spiritual form is that of aspiration.